Okay, so yesterday I was like, oh, my hair is so long. It was like sticking out this far in the back. And I'm like, okay, I need to get it cut. So me and my mom went to the hairdresser and she had to go and shop for stuff, so I just sat in the chair and the lady was like, alright, what do you want? So I'm like, okay. See my bangs here? And they were like that long. I'm like, well, can you just use a razor and just kind of go like that? I don't want to change the length at all. I don't want to change that length. I just want it to be razored to give it more of a texture. She's like, okay. And then I'm like, oh yeah, and over here, my bangs were kind of like that, so the transition was awkward. So I'm like, can you make this transition like, less awkward? She's like, all right, I could do that. And then I'm like, oh yeah, and over here, this was like this long, and they stuck out like that. And I'm like, okay, I want this to go like this, like in a triangle. But I don't want to change the length. I want it to just go in a triangle. She's like, alright, I can do that. I'm like, oh yes, this is like perfect. So we go wash my hair and she starts cutting away and I'm like, oh yeah. So excited, man, oh my god. So she's like, she's got little scissors, she's like, boop, boop, boop. I'm like, oh yes, that's perfect. And then she goes and she takes those texturizer things, she starts texturizing everything, and it like takes off like half an inch of everything that I've had. So then there's just like 2 strands here and it looks pretty awkward. She's like, and it just keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing, lady? Then she started going to my bangs and I'm like, whoa there. She just put it back, that's why it looks so short. That's the part that she totally like butchered. I don't know what the heck she was thinking. Okay, so my bangs, the way that I have them, I have it shortest over here and longest over here. And as you already said, I want to just be like razor cut. And this is what they ended up looking like. Look at that. What? How is this the shortest? Over here, that doesn't look too short to me. And how is this the longest, huh? It looks to me like this is longest. I don't know, maybe I'm blind or something, but this definitely looks shorter than this part. Oh yeah, another part, look at that part. I don't know what that is. What the hell? Ugh. When you get your hair cut, it's like one snip and your life is over. Pretty much. You can't take that snip back. You can't glue that hair back on. It does not work. Ugh. And all the time that she's doing this, she's talking about her cousin or somebody, or her cousin's friend, or her sister or somebody. She's like, oh yeah, like my cousin and sister's friend, she has short hair, but she has like really long bangs. I'm like, okay. And she's like, oh yeah, and she like totally spikes it up. And she's like, that's what all the cool kids do, all the cool kids with short hair, they spike their hair. I'm like, okay, whatever. And she's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh gee, I hope you're not, gonna actually do that into my hair, but, I didn't say that. So then she's like, starts drying it, and then my mom comes back, and she walks in, and she's like, oh my god, Nina, your hair is so short. What are you talking about? It's fine. You look like a boy. I like it. Because I didn't want to, right in the hairdresser's face, be like, oh my god, I know, it's disgusting, I'm gonna throw up. So my mom keeps going on about this, and then, okay, the lady, she took this gel stuff and she put it in my hair over here, and it literally looked like I had a chia pet just on this part of my hair. So just that part was really spiky and hideous. Oh my god. So then finally we're done and we're paying, and my mom's, she's kind of like, I'm like, I give the lady the tip, and I'm like, hey mom, can I go to the car? She's like, oh, okay, and I give the keys and I go to the car. And immediately when I get there, I started bawling because my hair looked so disgusting. I'm like looking in the mirror, I'm like, oh my god, I look like a boy. And I'm looking at this part and it's just making me all depressed. So my mom, she's buying shampoo and stuff and paying for the rest of it, and then she comes back, she opens the car door and she sees me crying, and I'm like, Mom, I was lying, I hate it. So then she runs back into the store and she's got this face, she's got this expression just like, and she goes back in and I'm like, no mom, don't. And then my mom comes back and it was like a really short time that she was in there, and I'm like, what did you say? And she's like, here's what I did. I ran in there. I'm like, oh yeah, just so you know, my daughter's in there bawling her eyes out, and she's saying that she hates it. And then the stylist lady was like, oh, I'm a stylist. My mom was like, yeah, you're not going to convince me. So I had come home, I washed out the disgusting stuff, and I restyled it, so, it doesn't look as bad. So yeah. I'm not saying this to totally destroy every single hairdresser out there, because I'm sure that a bunch of you guys are really good, and you're really talented, and you actually do what the customer asks. But with my experience, only 2 times in my entire life have I ever gotten my hair cut the way that I wanted. First time was in 7th grade, and then the other time was in 8th grade. But all the other times it's been either too short or like awkward length. Yeah, but I'm not going to give any names of the hairdresser of the store that I got my hair cut at. But let me just tell you this, I'm never going there again. No, this is the last time. I am never getting my hair cut at a hair place again. Nope, not going to happen.